Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to poke around, give you an update video. It's been quite a while since I updated anything. Multiple things I could talk about. Shit. Let's start with fruit. So, my lithium sunrise here. Sunset. Lithium sunset. Bunch of toms. My other lithium down here. It's got a tom that's getting there. It's got a couple more. This one's got a couple. If you notice, a lot of this doesn't really have much on it. And I'll be honest with you, it's because I lacked in my duties. I had to do an enormous amount of pruning. Like, an enormous amount. See this plant right here? See how naked its stem is now? That was days of pruning on this singular plant. This plant, 2 days ago, was huge, bushy, and crawling with aphids. It had dying leaves. It had dying, let's just say, it was not a good plant. This plant was on its way out. Then we got these. See that like yellowing and the brown spotting? Well, imagine everything in this area of this plant was covered in that. Okay? The plant still has aphids all over it. I've been spraying it daily with a natural organic pesticide. Hopefully they'll fuck off sometime soon. But not having much luck. So, one emphasis I would really like to make. Okay, look at this plant. See how big it is? Let's go up. Let's go down. Look at the stem. It branches there. It branches there. Comes up, comes up, comes up. Comes up, that's where we're at there. It branched there. So the truth of the matter is, half that plant is sucker. Literally, this big old meaty plant. Look how meaty that stem is. It's as big as my thumb. That's a really healthy plant, right? Wrong. That is a plant with 3 suckers on it. Massive suckers. And you would think that this is a fantastic plant. So plants have a couple things they want to do. They want to grow big. They want to cover an area. They really want to cover an area. They really want to cover an area. So, especially tomato plants. They're vines. Damn sun is like beating me down right now. Pep, you out here good? Where you at? Sitting in the sun behind some trees. You can't see her. Anyways, who's out there? Right? That is Pepper. Alright, well, where the fuck is Pepper? Oh, I'd hate if she was inside right now. Pep, where you at? I didn't see any of you were out here. There you is. Being good? Yes. Anyways, getting back to what I was saying. So I didn't prune that plant. I should have pruned this plant. And if you look, look. This whole video, I'm sure you could slow down if you really wanted to and inspect, but here it is. That right there, that tomato plus that one behind it is the only fruit on this plant. Even though it's nice and big, and if you saw it yesterday, you'd be like, man, that's a giant tomato plant. Holy crap. No, it's a bunch of stems. It's a bunch of fucking leaves. So, when people grow tomatoes professionally, this is a vine, they make sure to prune it to where it only has 1 or maybe 2 main stems. See how this one's split? I got 1 tomato there. That's the only thing this plant has. This plant is a cherry. cherry tomatoes are determinate plants. You don't want to prune them any higher than their first blossom. So you look right here. Get the camera right. And see those blossoms? See the tomato there? That's a blossom. Well, the very first blossom on this plant was way down here. And there is actually a tomato on it at the moment. So we don't prune any higher than this. However, the plant only is meant to get so high. It's a determinate plant. But then I got my indeterminate plant. And this one is the one I've spent the most time on and focused on the most. And if you look, it's under dirt now because I've been filling dirt in. Tomato plant stems will spawn roots if they're covered with dirt. So covering their stems with more dirt is not a bad thing. Some plants it's a bad thing, tomatoes it's not. And if you look, I have pruned the shit out of this plant every single day. I focus on this one the most. There are 2 main leader stems, and that is it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tomatoes on this plant, all of which are growing at a rapid pace, all of which are super healthy. No other plant here can claim that because they have been growing wild and bushy. See this plant here? How it's one single stem? This is actually my tallest. This is what is this called? It's a large cherry plant. Large cherries are an indeterminate. They're different than normal cherries, so you do prune them. However, if you look, so this one's got a cluster on it, and it's really tall. I had to prune the shit out of this. In a few days here, this is all going to start popping out with a whole bunch of fruit. Same thing going on with this plant. I had to prune the crap out of it. Right here, this, let me get it in cam. That split right there, so significant I couldn't cut it off. I'd kill half the plant. So I should have stayed on top of my plants, and I didn't. They got away from me. I should have been pruning. They should all look like this. This one really skinny ass doesn't look like it's healthy at all vine, but it actually is. They produce a lot more leaves than they actually need to get the sun that they require. And that's the whole purpose of suckers. Suckers are meant to get out there and get that sun, get the sun, get the sun, get the sun, and get big, 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 big. And the reason they want to get big is so they can spread out. No tomato plant does any tomato plant any good if it grows another tomato plant 3 inches away. So these plants by nature really, really want to get out there. They want to spread. And you have to stop them. You absolutely have to stop them. If you don't, what you're going to get is plants like this. See that plant right there? That's a cutting I just tore off of this one and shoved in the ground because I was like, fuck it, why not? But this one right here, no fruit on it whatsoever. Lots of stem, lots of leaf. And that's what you got to watch. That's what you have to watch out for. What do you want to produce when you're making tomatoes? Do you want fruit from a well-trimmed plant, or do you want? This is a cherry, so you know, got to. There's one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's a few there. Pepper, come on! Somebody's pulling up. Now, come on. But anyway, the whole point is, if you don't prune and you don't trim your plants, they don't grow shit. All they grow is leaves. If you want fruit, you got to prune them down. Check it out, poblano plant. Bam. Fruit, 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 fruit. Don't prune, don't expect shit. You got to understand how the plant actually works. It spends all of its energy trying to capture the sun. It only needs very little to make fruit. So you cut off all the extra, it spends all of its time making fruit. And that's the moral of the story. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here before it becomes 30 minutes long.